Salutations Rangers, General Bradley 101 back again with some more lore. And today's video, boys and girls, we're back with what our people get wrong about X series. And today we're talking about something very scary, very secretive, and very devious. And no, I'm not talking about your browser history, we're talking about the Alpha Legion today. More specifically, what everybody get wrongs about the 20th Legion. So, grab a jacket, your sunglasses, as well as your favorite spy movie. Love me some James Bond. I think Moonraker might be my favorite. But anything with Pierce Brosnan I also am a big fan of. But with that out of the way, let's get cracking on with today's video. So, TLDR time. The Alpha Legion are the 20th Legion Astartes and the final Legion of the Space Marines. They were part of the Trefoil region. Together with them, the Salamanders and the Space Wolves, they were sequestered away for a special purpose, each one of them having a unique purpose which the Emperor had them specially trained for. Now, it's never really known what exactly this purpose was, but we can have a few guesses. The Wolves were supposed to be the Emperor's guards, essentially his enforcers. The Salamanders were supposed to be the protectors of the citizenry, keeping everything in check. And for the Alpha Legion, they were supposed to be the Emperor's secret police, a sort of secret left hand that he would move in the shadows to make things appear in the light. But again, that's just speculation on our part. And what's very interesting about the Alpha Legion is that they actually have two Primarchs, but actually one. You see, when Alfarius was yeeted in the warp, his soul was split in two. So too the soul split, thus did the body split as well. Thus, one soul, but two bodies. Hence that why when Alfarius and Omegon fight together, they are said to be nearly unbeatable and terribly, terribly deadly. The Alpha Legion was also one of the smallest legions to begin with. Fun fact, they were called the Alpha Legion, not because of its funny, oh, the last legion was called the Alpha, rather because they were deployed when they were at the Alpha induction stage, which is when they had 3,000 Space Marines, the first level, hence Alpha, of a Space Marines combat capabilities. But from there, the Alpha Legion served admirably throughout the entirety of the Great Crusade, but we don't really know. The whole point about the Alpha Legion is that they were meant to serve as a type of spec ops operation, a secret police. They are very much the hidden hand of the Emperor, and they operated as such. For them are not the open battlefield maneuvers, for them it is the silent dealings in the dark. The stuff that makes your skin crawl and that God Almighty makes you pray that you aren't a part of it. But throughout the heresy, they did play a part, but not a very prominent part as we can tell. Now this was by design, for it is believed that the twin Primarchs of the Alpha Legion were shown a vision by the Cabal, and this vision then caused a rift in between them, with one side believing that they needed to serve the Emperor, the other side believing that he needed to be destroyed. And at the end of the heresy, with the death of one of the Primarchs, maybe, possibly, still don't know about that, the Alpha Legion warband was then split up into many different warbands, and each of them operating as their own independent cells. The Alpha Legion is the most splintered of all the legions, and we generally speaking have no idea what each individual warband is doing at a given time. That's part of the course, but that's the TLDR. Now, let's talk a little bit about what exactly do people get wrong about the Alpha Legion. See, the Alpha Legion are a bit of a meme. Not really a bit, they're pretty much a meme. Mainly because, with the GW's writers, they don't exactly know how to write them. In some cases they are wrote incredibly intelligently and terrifyingly just effective. But in other cases they're pretty much a meme of, oh, the Alpha Legion did this, maybe. Meaning that if you ever have to research any lore for the Alpha Legion to get facts on the Alpha Legion, it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare and a half. It is beyond terrifying because you will literally have in one book them claiming that they did something, but in the same book they will say that no, they didn't, it's a contradiction, and that's the whole point of it. But the thing is though, what people get wrong is that they're supposed to be like this. They're supposed to be confusing to the reader. They're supposed to be confusing to everyone. But with GW's writers and the way that they've been handled, they kinda took it a little too far. And that's what I'm going to explain in today's video. So, let's start off first with what they were supposed to be. The Alpha Legion are meant to be confusing. They're meant to be a meme. They're meant to be the meme of, oh, but this is a lie. The whole point of the Alpha Legion is that they're supposed to be a secret organization. You as the reader are not supposed to know exactly what they're doing. You're not supposed to know when they do it, why they do it, how they do it, who did it. You are meant to be kept in the dark. The whole point of the Alpha Legion is that they are an entity operating entirely on their own. And if you, the reader, don't know what they're doing, then that means that you cannot infer what they're doing with other races. Because what a lot of 40k fans have learned to do is that we put two and two together. If Chaos is doing something in relation to the Imperium and the Tau are involved, we can then make a connection between Chaos, the Imperium, and the Tau. Or we can at least try and guess one. But if we don't know what the Alpha Legion are doing at any given time, we cannot make that connection. Meaning that the Alpha Legion actually are a secret faction, because even we, as the people outside the universe, don't know what they're doing, nor can we put it together. And this is supposed to be connected by an overarching narrative. You see, whilst we're not supposed to know any specific details and able to make any foregone conclusions, there are supposed to be some things that are incredibly consistent and that we are able to surely put together. It's the idea that we can see the food, we can see the steak, glistening in perfection, but every time we get ever so close, it's just pulled away from us, but we can see the steak in the distance. And this is where 40k's writers have somewhat failed, in my opinion. They've forgotten to mention the steak. They're talking about some piece of gold randomly in Timbuktu, but they forgot to mention the steak that's right in front of your face. So much so that sometimes the steak isn't even there. The idea of a steak has not even been conceptualized yet, so you are just lost in the dark. What Alpha Legion writing suffers from is that there is no overarching narrative. There is no one thing tying all of them together. There is no one concrete narrative that ties into all of their actions. There is no one overarching thing that we can point to, or more specifically, a couple. What there should be is that there should be 3 different options. One Imperium aligned, one Chaotic aligned, and one random third one. Again, this is just my opinion, this is not what GW has meant for them, but this is what I would do. You have 3 of these major arcings, and each individual warband, each individual action, each individual outcome will align to one of 3 of these, or all 3 of them. But it needs to give us something for us to just sink our teeth into, or like to whisper, or to smell something. But that's not what happens. The reason why most people become so disillusioned with the Alpha Legion, and why most Alpha Legion fans love them purely for the meme of this is a lie, is because they don't have anything going for them in terms of that narrative. There's nothing concrete for you to sink your teeth into. Nothing at all. And when there's nothing at all, people lose interest. And in some cases, they actually despise the faction. There are many people who hate the Alpha Legion because they see them as a meme legion. They see them as pointless. And I can't really disagree with that too much, especially if you look at it from their point of view. The Alpha Legion don't have anything going for them. There's nothing overall, there's nothing major that we have here in present day 40k. There's nothing really that an Alpha Legion fan can point to say that, hey, this is a narrative thing that actually has consequence. And because of that, a lot of people see the Alpha Legion as just existing for the sake of the meme, and just being reprehensible because of that. Which is a shame, because again, it's what they're supposed to be. If the Alpha Legion had something, anything, any type of narrative, any type of action, any type of literally anything that give the reader something to hold on to. Because of that, the Alpha Legion end up becoming purely a meme, purely a joke. And again, it's a terrible shame, because the whole point of the Alpha Legion is that their story is supposed to represent a fracturing, a breaking, but still continuing in that purpose. The Alpha Legion initially was a united organization. It was held by the 2 twin Primarchs, and it served as the Emperor's hidden hand. But with the introduction of the Cabal, and when they speak to Alpharius and Omegon, and when they tell them of what is happening, there's supposed to be a split. And that split only worsens throughout the heresy, and ultimately when one of the Primarchs dies, and the other Primarch goes missing, their sons are left to be splintered, corrupted, mallied. Again, it's the whole point of, they were initially supposed to be efficiency made manifest. They were supposed to be the Space Marines that could operate anywhere, that could do anything. They didn't just operate in quick strikes. They didn't operate in long brutal sieges. They operated in normal day-to-day life. You send the Alpha Legion when you need an entire culture changed, when you need an entire person changed, when you need anything changed, but more specifically, when you need that person to believe that it was their decision, when it was their choice. When you need a populace to be completely, wholly, and utterly devoid of any knowledge that the Space Marines were ever there. Because there is a massive difference between forcing someone to do something and someone thinking that it was their choice. And the Alpha Legion were made to do that to a T. But with the heresy and the loss of both of their fathers through one means or another, they have now become devoid of that direction. Each individual warband is left to carry out its own aim, but still believing what they think the original organization's goal was. It's essentially futile, because you have several different splinter groups of the Alpha Legion. They're too small enough themselves to actually do something, but they're still working against each other at the same time. Instead of being what they were supposed to be, this massive hand in the darkness that guided the world, they're now individual fingertips, each prying at each other, and eventually doing nothing. That story, that whole arc line, fits so incredibly well with the whole narrative of Warhammer 40k. The Alpha Legion, one of the most effective legions, one of the legions that suffered the least of casualties throughout the Great Crusade, they had everything to be the most effective legion, have now been reduced to the least effective legion. It's supposed to be a story that is narratively compelling. It's supposed to make sense. It's supposed to give you that certainty of it all. It's supposed to be tragic. But because of GW and their writers not really understanding that, or maybe that was just never that intention. From me looking at it, this is what I believe. This is what everything points to it, and this is me giving them the benefit of the doubt. But the sad reality could be that GW never thought that far ahead of the Alpha Legion. Maybe the Alpha Legion is just a joke legion, which GW forgot about, they forgot how to do, they forgot how to handle, and here we are. That's a very pessimistic way of looking at it, and it's a way that I dislike looking at personally. So, I believe that the Alpha Legion are supposed to be something wholly different. They're supposed to be the most effective legion, rendered the most ineffective by the corruptive nature of 10,000 years of warfare. The heresy broke them, but not in a way that it broke any other legion. It's something that's wholly unique to them, and it would give readers something to hold on to, something to look into, but that sadly is just not the case. And unlike my other videos, there's not really much more to talk about on the Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion are potential made manifest. When you read a good Alpha Legion book, it is beyond horrifying how deadly and effective they are. One of my favorite stories is when the Alpha Legion destroy a Space Marine chapter, but the way they destroy it is that they spend like over 200 years, and they don't corrupt the Space Marines, but rather they corrupt the very populace in them by slowly breeding into them gene pool after gene pool by infecting the water and the food to slowly inebriate them to the point that they can be mind controlled with the sleeper cell program. And so the fact that that sleeper cell program is directly ingrained into their DNA, that even when they become Astartes, it still stays there. I believe it's the destruction of the red consoles or the white consoles, something consoles, but they just absolutely destroy them, and the way they do it, it is horrifying. It is so scary, and it's some of the best lore I've ever read. But when you look at when the Alpha Legion are done poorly, they literally just become, this is a lie. It starts with this is a lie, it ends with this is a lie, and you don't know nothing about it. And it becomes upsetting to a point that, okay, well, thank you, I just wasted 4 hours reading this story, and it's like nothing happened, nothing was confirmed, it was all just pointless. The Alpha Legion are an incredibly hard legion to balance right, because you have to give the reader enough so that they're still hooked on it like a mystery, but if you don't give them anything, they're just going to get upset at you for wasting their time. And looking into it, there is only one way to truly fix the Alpha Legion. They need a narrative. They need something. They need an overarching thing that every single warband can connect to. But again, how they connect to it, what they do, what the means are, that can be left mysterious. But if they're just going to continue as being simply just Lamau, this is a lie, with nothing connecting to them, it is, in my opinion, the most wasted potential of a Space Marine Legion period. I know that's a bold statement, but when you consider what the Alpha Legion have, or what they have going for them, versus what they should be, it is in my opinion that that is the widest discrepancy in all of the Space Marine Legions. But ultimately, the Alpha Legion are a meme, and they're a good meme, to be fair, but they're not supposed to be just a meme. Every legion has its memes, but when you get to the core of it, you have that crux that you can hold on to. The Alpha Legion are devoid of that, or that meaning has been lost to them. And it truly is a terrible shame, because again, what they're supposed to be is amazing, and what they are is just not. And I really do feel sad. And I hope that GW will take this, will take the Alpha Legion and do something with them that gives them what they deserve, or at least what I think they deserve. But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much for watching. I know, super short one this time around. Like I said, researching Alpha Legion lore is a pain in the ass. There's literally nothing I can do, there's nothing for me to say, and it's all just ifs, ands, or buts, or maybes. So I'm super sorry that it's that short, but hey, these are my concrete thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me about the Alpha Legion? To my Alpha Legion fans, did I do your boys justice? What do you guys think? Do you guys love the Alpha Legion crew for the meme? What do you think about them being serious? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But I want to say a massive thank you to you guys for watching, and even more massive thank you to my super awesome members and Patreons. And big shout out to brand new private member, Mr. Diego Castro. Big shout out to my lieutenant tier members, Mr. Eddie V3, Miss Majora of the Void, and General Alexander. Massive shout out to my sergeant tier members, Mr. Damiak, Mr. Andy McGee, Mr. Warsmith.Fireheart, Mr. Corns Butcher, and Mr. Sean IRL7. Big shout out to my corporal tier members, Mr. Bowen and Mr. Tremeo the Math Kitty. And Mr. Bowen again because he's technically signed up twice. And then finally, massive shout out to my privateer members, Mr. Thomas Moslons, Mr. Ivan_SVW, Mr. Michael Hayeda, Mr. Hattori's Curse, Mr. Monkey Man, and Mr. Fortus Unum. Thank you, each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for doing this. It means the absolute world to me. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Mr. Bowen, you are technically signed up for 2 corporal tiers, so do you just want me to mention your name twice in the corporal tier or just move you up to sergeant? Hey, whatever you tell me, Chief, I will do. I'm just going to do corporal twice because that's what it says. But if you want anything else, I'll do it. Lord knows I will. But if you want to join these awesome, amazing, beautiful people, sign up with our memberships today. You can access to a bunch of awesome benefits, behind the scenes stuff, and firsthand and all the new things that are coming. But remember, this will always be free. And whether you give me $1 or not, I will love you just the same. Mwah! Yes, I will. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been the General Bradley 101. You beautiful, awesome, and amazing people. Thank you all so very much for watching. Make sure to stay strong out there, boys and girls. And I will catch y'all next time. Dismiss Rangers.
This is a lie.